Good morning. This is Hap May with a legal play.
And I'm Chelsea El-Azzi, Hap's associate. Hap, today I want to talk about financial deals, getting into financial deals and partnering with people in this process, and basically what happens when you trust somebody and your trust is misplaced.
Okay, that's and by financial, that could include business or investments, or sometimes joint ownership of property, marital property. I mean, trusting your spouse, trusting people to do business with, people you invest with,
Right. And
people that do business with you.
And I was attempting to avoid saying, a business transaction or a business deal, because some of the people we cut, that come in here, it's not necessarily a business transaction that went south, but it involves money. And so we landed on some financial investment.
Yes.
Where you cannot be the sole player. Like, you had to partner with somebody, or a client has to partner with somebody in order to make this, this event, this transaction move forward, be it, together signing deeds to a property or deeds of trust, getting, joint loans, and not being the sole person on that loan, whatever it may be. Just, and the reason I'm trying to get into this topic is I find that we have a lot of clients that they are in the client seat here because they have trusted somebody, gone into a transaction with somebody, and that person has,
in some way, size, or form, failed to live up to the expectations that our clients had. Putting it very nice.
I was gonna say I was gonna get a little bit French with the way I put it.
There are some four-letter words too that could apply,
Yeah.
process. But
that was nicely said.
But that somehow
nicely
it didn't quite go, and our clients placed some trust in somebody else and were let down in one way or another. Because they feel, maybe rightfully, maybe not, that their trust was violated.
And it could be that, that they're left whole. A lot of the people that come in, their partner, their financial partner, has run off, absconded with a bunch of money. Our clients
Yes.
are often left holding the bag.
Yeah.
If you can, not get to that point, if you can maybe take some active steps ahead of time to where you're not, suddenly left partnerless and, owing a whole bunch of debts to the IRS that you weren't expecting to be,
To the IRS or to a bank on a guarantee,
Right.
or some third party liability
Right.
that was supposed to be there. Somebody was supposed to provide insurance, they didn't provide it, provide financial, support, they didn't provide collateral that they didn't provide for a loan, provide a guarantee, and they renege on their guarantee. So you're left on, you or our client are left holding the whole bag on something else that somebody else was supposed to pay all or part of.
Correct. So just some examples of, financial investments, financial deals that we've seen come in the door are, two business partners that they have to take out a loan for the business.
Right. The business doesn't work out the way they thought it would. The bank or lender calls the loan, and one guy, moves to wherever. I mean,
Yep, one guy takes off and says, "You can't find me."
Never heard from again. Yeah.
And so the one guy's left holding the bag.
Yeah. And so the question is, how do you prevent that?
Yes. And I asked you because I feel like there's a lot of people in the world that go there most of their life and seem to never encounter this issue with people. And you make comments all the time, you've managed to avoid, divorce, and you've, for the most part, made pretty sound investment deals with individuals. And I don't know.
Yes, I mean that's a whole different war story, episode in itself. But yeah, basically, I mean, of course, I mean, I have some advantage being a lawyer and being, an accountant, and have some financial knowledge and some legal knowledge that I kind of know when I can, trust somebody, or if I don't trust them, when can I enforce, whatever promise they made.
Right.
It's one thing. It's one thing to be able to trust them. Another thing is when that trust fails, what remedy do you have?
My question for you when I came to you with this topic was, Hap, you seem like you know what to do. Are there, things to look for? Are there little tidbits of advice to know if you can trust somebody? You know, can you see the halo above them of their trustworthiness? Like give the world some
I will
tips.
tell you, I have, sort of been, a professional CPA or lawyer for over 40 years now, and I've done business with a lot of people. I've had clients who've done business with a lot of people, and I have never met anybody that actually had a halo. So keep that in mind in the process that, you really, in order to get by in life, you have to trust people
Yeah.
somewhat.
Yes.
Because and there are people, I've seen people that just don't trust anybody. And they don't trust me to tell them, not to trust somebody. I mean, it is, and it just, they can't do anything, which is, I guess, if they want to, live a very sheltered life, not make a lot of investments, not, do anything other than, maybe have a bank account that earns, savings books interest rates, if they even trust the banks,
Yeah.
in the process, but that's sort of a limited life, limited ability to function
Well,
in the
and
process.
when I came to you, I said, I guess I can kind of understand this because when I was getting married, and we've done a podcast on prenuptial agreements, you know, the person being asked to sign the prenup is, but don't you trust me? I feel like I'm very trustworthy. But the other person is like, well, I do trust you. You seem trustworthy, but just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and have you,
Yeah,
you know, sign this
yeah.
agreement. And so for other financial deals, I wanted to ask Hap, what can a person do, whether or not you trust the person? Maybe you do trust them, maybe you think they're, you know, gonna not abscond with the money, or maybe you're not so sure.
And there are some things a lawyer can do to help with regard to that. I mean, one thing is, I mean, everybody has a history. If they don't have a history, that is something that should be suspect to start with. But kind of know who you are dealing with, know their past, know some of the people they've dealt with, talk to some of the people they've dealt with in the past, look at what sort of, record they leave. Have they filed bankruptcy? Are they convicted criminals? All of these are in data banks in the process. Have they been sued a lot in the process?
Okay, but Hap, let's say none of that is the case. This is my like best buddy from college. I've known this guy for years.
Okay. Which is a good start. I mean, somebody so hopefully you kept up with them. I would still look to see whether there's anything, that pops up in their history
Okay.
that we would have in the public record with regard to that. Then, have some disclosures made. What is it we want him to do? Get whatever it is he is promising to do. Your partner, and I say it's a he, could be a she, but
She,
anyway,
right.
but this partner, get what they are promising to do in writing. Have a lawyer look over it, make sure that, what promises they make are enforceable. I mean, if your college buddy is, a good friend and a good worker, but just doesn't have any money, having him sign a, guarantee or co-guarantee on $1 million debt, while a good gesture may not be that much, because if there is a default, he may be unable to perform.
Right. Because he's got nothing to give in that case.
And I mean, how many times that's happened where two partners have had that? One partner has to pay a liability and then wants the other partner to pay his half or whatever percentage of it is, and that guy doesn't have the money. And the partner says, well, gee whiz, I mean, that's, you're defaulting on, you violated my trust and stuff like that. But I mean, that's something perhaps, the moneyed partner, should have known or considered upfront in the process. And figuring if that's the case, what is it that could done to be secured? Does the other party have some obligation or some asset elsewhere, some family member that can stand in? I mean, there are a whole series of things that could be done. I mean, we professional partners look at like professional liability issues, and we have a partner, or there are 10 partners. We want to make sure that there's professional liability insurance in place, so that if, one of my partners screwed up, it doesn't take down the other 9.
Talking about financial liabilities, can you ask somebody to get bonded?
In a deal for which there is a market that would be bonded, yes. I mean, a
And
construction contract type of scenario, where I've got a contract. It's my buddy. I've got my buddy, and he's gonna do some work, on a particular real estate deal that I have, or something like that. I can get it bonded. I mean, make a performance bond.
And what do I mean for people who are like, what does that even mean to be bonded? Because I know what that means. I've worked here long enough to.
Generally speaking, there is some bond that is put up, an amount of money or a promise by a solvent surety, usually a bonding company, insurance company, or something like that. They're willing to in exchange for getting a fee, will put money up to secure something that a party is supposed to do. A bail bondsman, somebody comes in, mom puts up, some money. Bail bondsman says, okay, if Junior doesn't show up for court, I will pay this amount.
That's like a fixed fee, right? Or is it a portion? Because I think, in my understanding of some of the bonds I've seen, is there's like a monthly premium you pay in during the time
that's a financial arrangement between the party who is being bonded and the bonding company. And sometimes it's a flat fee. I pay 10% of the bond. Sometimes, I mean, I have to put up collateral equal to the amount of the bond. That came up in the civil suit that Donald Trump was involved in, where there was a big $500 million. I think the court reduced it to like $150 million. He didn't have $150 million worth of cash, but he was able to put up assets, had an insurance company post the bond. And that was the kind of transaction we're having. And bonds come up, and I mean the bail bonds, they're in that case what they call supersedious bonds, which would prevent a judgment holder from trying to collect on their judgment pending appeal, by making sure that there is a bond in place. So if they are successful with appeal, they can just go get the bond. They don't have to chase assets. Construction is often an area where bonds are put up, where if somebody says, okay, I am a construction contractor, I am gonna build this building for $10 million, and I'm gonna enter into contract, and I am gonna put up a bond that basically says, if I flake out, technical legal term, but if I don't perform for whatever reason, the bonding company will come in and finish the work, and then the bonding company will sue me.
Okay.
But real estate customer, the buyer, the owner of the property that's being improved, don't have to worry about me, because if I break the trust we have or break the contract we have, there is an insurance company, bonding company that has lots and lots of money, and they will come forth and they will finish the project.
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't sound like it would be appropriate if you're wanting to just go into a partnership or a business venture with somebody, and you just need to know whether or not they're going to make sure, like, trust fund employee taxes are paid in.
Right.
And not just like take off with all the business money, all the profit from the business one day
and leave you holding the bag. Yes.
Are there things that you can do to secure yourself from that potential?
Well, I mean,
because I feel like we've seen a lot of those too.
Then that is not where we're basically, I want you, my partner, to shield me from any liability I might have.
Or it's just, hey, I'd like you to take some, to be responsible and do these things in order for us to run the business, rather than take all the profits and run.
And there are various things to put in place with regard to there, as far as having audited financial statements, bringing auditors in to look over them, having other people who will sort of watch the business.
So, you talking about have some oversight, not
right.
Trusting this one person, saying, hey, I trust you, but I just, everybody needs checks and balances.
And perhaps avoid being the silent partner, where I put in a bunch of money, you run the company, and tell me how things are doing. On my yacht, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I am recalling a case where that might have been at play a little bit, where it was, hey, we're going to go into business and do this thing. I'm going to be over here, taking care of business on that end, and I'm going to trust you to go run that thing. And the one who was trusted did not run that thing very well.
And sometimes you develop a business and one partner just takes the business to the exclusion of the other partner. And there are various agreements you can have, covenants not to compete, and confidentiality agreements and things like that that can protect you. So at least as if that other party does that, you at least have a cause of action and say you have violated this, and here's the remedy that is allowed in the process. It's not a perfect world. I mean, you have to trust some people, but I mean, getting a written agreement, getting an understanding, maintaining some oversight, doing some good background
Yeah.
research, and keeping up with what's going on, either yourself or by people that can do that effectively is kind of the best alternative we have to finding that somebody with a halo.
I like that. That's good advice.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks, Hap.
All right. This is Hap May with the Legal Play.